Okay. May I continue? I continue?
Let's go.
We've got a show to record. Rob Valetini goes back in. Will Skelton comes back in. What do you think about those selections?
Yeah, look, it makes sense. Unfortunately, that means that two players lose a position. But that's just the way it goes. I tell you what, I'm going to start throwing. But Valetini's going to take a lot of the load off Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson needed to carry a bit. You know, those wipers kicks that the Lions are going to do, box kicks, coming off the sideline, that's another big body to penetrate, because that's what was missing on Saturday a bit.
Yeah, I think now he's gone with size and power, hasn't he? Got a 6-2 split on the bench, 6 forwards, only 2 backs, so Langy Gleeson goes on the bench. So rather than trying to go wide last week, they're going to try and break this defensive pattern down for the British and Irish Lions. Their defence is so strong, and they've got to try and bend it and try and get some pace out wide. No changes in the back line, which we probably thought that'd be the case.
So we have Jake Gordon starting, Tate McDermott off the bench. What did you make of Tate McDermott off the bench last week?
I thought he brought some energy to the game. I thought first half, the Lions' line speed was dominant, tackling you behind the gain line. I think Wallabies played a bit shorter and they just went one off, tried to get some tempo in the game. It actually kept the ball. You know, they kept the ball for a big period of the second half. I mean, you scored 3 tries. Let's not forget, you scored 3 tries. If you'd said that was an 8-point game just after half-time when Sheehan scored, I would have given you long, long odds. So, you know, the line, if you concede 3 in a test match, you don't normally win. So the Lions will be looking to improve that, I'm sure.
What did you make of our skipper, Harry Wilson? And of course, you've been part of a test match for the Lions that when you lose a test, how does he get this side up, and what can he do to lift his team on Saturday night at the MCG as skipper?
Well, I think when you lose a game, that comes naturally. You get the criticism is there. It's a horrible week. Everyone's sort of down on themselves. So you hope that comes out in training. Everyone's got the edge about them. You didn't have the edge when you came out. Test matches are ferocious. You've got to win the battle. I said last week, nothing comes cheap. You have to earn it. You know, people are talking about the Lions winning 2-0, 3-0. I said, no. You have to earn your test match every time. I said yesterday, Test 2 doesn't start where Test 1 ends in a way. You have to go back as the winning team and earn it again. You have to win that battle again. So it's good to see Skelton in there for Australia. Valetini, some physical edge. I thought he didn't have that last week. And if you lose that bit, it doesn't matter about the skill. You have to have both. You have to have the ferocity, the physicality, and the skill within that to win big games.
And Jono's spot on. It's going to manifest itself in training this week. I absolutely remember first test loss, second test training week was one of the hardest training environments I've ever been a part of. I got my nose shifted around my face about 4 times by Todd O'Keefe. Owen Finnegan kneed me in the head about 18 times. Everyone had sharper elbows and knees. There was more... You tell you what went out the window, the gentleman's agreement. Normally at training, you don't get over the ball, you don't pilfer. All bets were off, and that's what the Wallaby environment would be experiencing now, and that's a great amount of energy to take into a second test.
You speak about skill. Do they get any more skillful than Max Jorgensen? How good was his try last week? We've managed to compile an offset against his try on the line. So we beat England. Yeah, we beat England, ladies and gents. So which of these two is a better try for you, Justin Harrison?
I've got to say that at Twickenham against England, because the fashion in which that try was scored, you know, you had to win a scrum, you had to work out of a hole, you had to away from home in London at the home of rugby, Twickenham. It's so hard to get anywhere near the English team at Twickenham, and to problem solve like that and show resilience, that's what we want to see in a Wallaby jersey.
And also, Johnny, you talk about and Goog about the build up to this second test match, and you can't really, you've got to be really careful you don't play the test on Wednesday or Thursday at training. You've got to wait and be measured about what you're going to do on Saturday night. One thing they've really got to make sure the Wallabies is their game plan with Tom Liner at the back and also Max Jorgensen. The Lions put a lot of high balls up and they've got some balls back, so they've got to try and find a way, not to hide those two players, but have a strategy where you've got some taller players at the back to take those high kicks.
We've been slammed. We, being us Aussies, have been slammed by the British press. Some ex-England coaches as well have heaped in and got in on it and slammed the Aussies and the Wallabies' performance last week. What response will that lead to Martin Johnson and then you, Goog?
Well, just like we said, you know, when you lose, you open to criticism, everyone lines up, and you know, some guys read it, some guys don't, but as a team you feel it. and you should do. You've lost at home, so the reaction is just what we talked about. And Tim's exactly right. 8 o'clock Saturday night. That's when you get your chance to make it right. So I'm hoping it's a really ferocious Test match.
Look, there's a bit of press from England about the smiles on the faces of the Wallaby players and seeing their friends and family post-game. Did you take anything out of that?
Oh, no, I think it's important to take moments in time in. They'll be acutely aware of what they're under. And I tell you what, if you're looking for words on a page in a cold document and column space to motivate you to keep the series alive, and one of the biggest tests you're ever going to play in your career, in fact, probably the only chance you're going to get, then you're in trouble, right? So you look left and right, who's wearing the jersey with you? What does it feel like to sing the anthem? What does it feel like to look at someone staring across at you in a red jersey? And how are you going to problem solve? They're the things you look for. You don't look for encouragement nor criticism as a motivator leading into a Test campaign like this.